What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we have some breaking news. As undefeated two-division world champion, reigning WBO middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, 31 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 6 foot tall, with a 74-inch arm reach, who is a southpaw, has now decided that he's going to officially vacate his WBO title at middleweight, and he's going to officially go up to super middleweight and look to make himself the World Boxing Organization, better known as WBO, mandatory challenger for the winner of the massive anticipated showdown between four-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is considered to be the face of the sport of boxing and definitely top 3 pound for pound, if not number 1 best pound for pound in many people's eyes. Canelo Alvarez is 57 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout. He is 31 years of age, stands at 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. He's expected to go into a Cinco de Mayo, May 7th showdown with undefeated two-division world champion, who is currently the WBC reigning middleweight world champion, superstar boxer Jermall Lions Only Charlo. Jermall Charlo is 32 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 6 foot tall with a 74-inch arm reach himself. The last time we saw Jermall Charlo in the ring was June of 2021, and he took on defeated Juan Montiel via unanimous decision. So with that said, Demetrius Andrade, he petitioned the WBC to make him the mandatory challenger for Jermall Charlo at middleweight, okay? And he was unsuccessful in doing so. And the last time we saw Demetrius Andrade in the ring was November of 2021 when he took on defeated Jason Quigley by knockout, okay? He beat Jason Quigley by knockout. Now, Demetrius Andrade, he's trying to unify the divisions, but he just can't get the other champions in the ring with him, okay? And it's largely in part due to the fact that Demetrius Andrade had done some bad business in the past when it came to Jermall Charlo's identical twin brother, who campaigns at the junior middleweight 154-pound division, and he is the 2-time champion and the unified champion there, and that's Jermall Lions Only Charlo, who is going into a massive undisputed showdown March 19th of this year in Los Angeles, California. With that said, Demetrius Andrade, Jermall Charlo, they were scheduled to fight. And the week of the fight, 10 days before the fight, Demetrius Andrade, he pulled out the fight and cited that he could get more money. He was told by an outside source that he could get more money for the fight if he just postponed the fight. He pulled out. That left a sour taste in many people's mouth, the promoters, the fighters, so on and such, etc. And Demetrius Andrade, from that point on, has been struggling to get a big fight, okay? Now, there's two other champions in the division with Demetrius Andrade, and that's 2-time middleweight world champion, who currently is the IBF middleweight world champion, Gennady Triple G Golovkin, superstar boxer, 41 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 36 big wins by way of knockout. He's 39 years of age, 5'10.5" with a 70-inch arm reach, okay? That's Gennady Triple G Golovkin. He's looking to go into a fight. Last time we saw him in the ring was December of 2020, okay? We are in 2022, almost 2 years since the last time we saw Gennady Triple G Golovkin in the ring. Now, he was scheduled to face off against Lyoto Murata in his next fight, but, that fell through, because Murata just seems like, he doesn't have much interest, in facing off against, competing, to begin with, okay? And he's the WBA champion, okay? So with that said, the Murata fight hasn't come to fruition. It was supposed to happen, Christmas, Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, December 31st or something of that magnitude. And that fight didn't come to fruition, okay? And so since that fight hasn't come to fruition, both guys have been very inactive. So Murata hasn't fought in years. Triple G hasn't fought in years. And yet, neither guy have shown any interest in facing off against Demetrius Andrade in unification bout. And so Ryota Murata, I call him Lyoto. Ryota Murata, Lyoto is the UFC fighter. Ryota Murata, he's just inactive, okay? It's unfortunate, because he's holding a belt hostage, and the WBA has not made a decision, on Ryota Murata, who's 16 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 13 wins by way of knockout, 6 feet tall with a 75-inch arm reach. The last time he was in the ring, get this, was December of 2019. And the WBA, since he beat Steve Butler via knockout, the WBA has not made a move on the Japanese fighter. He's been inactive for very long. He's going on 3 years since he's last been in the ring, but he's still holding on to the WBA title, okay? So he and Triple G were scheduled to face off against one another, but that fell through. And so since it fell through, Demetrius Andrade, he's been trying to get a fight with one of those fighters in a unification bout. But again, the business part of the sport doesn't shine bright on Demetrius Andrade. And, just fighters just overall have been reluctant to fight him. And when it comes to Jermall Charlo, well, the business he did, bad business he did with his twin brother, well, that don't shine bright either. So with that said, he has a hard time getting fights. So now, which I don't agree with this, he's decided to vacate his belt, move up to, super middleweight and challenge, and put himself in position to be the mandatory challenger. He could have put himself in position to be the mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez as soon as Canelo Alvarez beat former 2-division world champion, former WBO super middleweight world champion, United Kingdom British superstar boxer, Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, Billy Joe Saunders in May. Canelo Alvarez beat Billy Joe Saunders in May. And Demetrius Andrade at that point in time, after the press conference, he pushed up on Canelo Alvarez in the post-fight press conference. He pushed for the fight. And so with that said, it went viral. But Demetrius Andrade, he let the opportunity go by because he was the he's the WBO champion. He could have pushed to be the WBO mandatory challenger. That was May of 2021, okay? At that point, when it went viral and he had the momentum with Canelo Alvarez, he could have pushed for the WBO to make him the mandatory. Then he would already be in position right now to be the mandatory challenger for Canelo Alvarez. But instead, the talks are Jermall Charlo is going to fight Canelo Alvarez May 7th, Cinco de Mayo weekend. And it's being reported that Canelo Alvarez is going to receive a whopping $50 million for a fight against Jermall Charlo. Okay, now there's another offer on the table for Canelo Alvarez, which is a 2-fight deal with light heavyweight WBA undefeated world champion Dimitri Bivol. At light heavyweight, he could fight him twice, and then on the back end of that fight, he will have a deal to fight Triple G in a trilogy match. Now, he beat Triple G once. They have a draw. And, everybody's been calling for a trilogy match. But I feel like Triple G is far past it. Canelo Alvarez has sights on becoming undisputed at light heavyweight. He was the WBO champion in light heavyweight after he beat Sergey Crusher Kovalev. Now he has his sights set on that division. Dimitri Bivol is 19 wins, no losses, no draws, 11 wins by way of knockout. 31 years of age, 6 foot tall with a 72-inch arm reach. So he's with Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn and DAZN. And so Eddie Hearn is offering Canelo Alvarez a 3-fight deal essentially. And it's being reported that the Demetrius Bivol fight will be $50 million. So he'll get 25 for the first fight, 25 for the second fight, and then he will possibly get about 25 to 30 to fight Triple G in a trilogy match. The reason that Triple G even signed with DAZN, now he has his own promotional company. He's not connected to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. He has his own promotional company and his own deal with DAZN, Triple G, Gennady Golovkin Promotions, okay? And so he signed with DAZN in hopes to land in a trilogy match with Canelo Alvarez. He thought that he won both the fights with Canelo. There's fans that feel that way. And so he wants to rectify it and get a trilogy. But Triple G in his last few fights haven't looked that good. I thought he clearly lost his fight with Sergey Derevyanchenko, and he didn't look that good against Kazmata in his last fight, okay? So with that said, I think that Canelo Alvarez stops Triple G in a third fight, especially 2 fights from now. That means they possibly won't fight to the end of the year. He'll be 40 years old, or maybe even 2023, okay? So now with Jermall Charlo, he stands to make $50 million for 1 fight with Jermall Charlo. He doesn't have to have 2 fights and to make $50 million. He's going to make about $50 million with 1 fight with Jermall Charlo. Now, Canelo Alvarez, he reported that, that he is mulling over. It's a tough decision. But at the end of the day, a 1-fight deal to fight Jermall Charlo for 50, or a 2-fight deal to fight Dimitri Bivol for $50 million. it's a no-brainer, okay? And so with that said, Demetrius Andrade said now he's going to push in his position to get the winner, okay? Because Jermall Charlo, Canelo Alvarez is going to be an undisputed match because Canelo Alvarez holds all the belts. So he beats the winner of the fight, okay? Now the winner of the fight, Demetrius Andrade, is going to be the mandatory for the winner of the fight, regardless if it's Canelo or Jermall Charlo. Now, the only thing is, if Canelo Alvarez beats Jermall Charlo, he's more than likely going to, at that point, vacate his belts and move up to light heavyweight and go accomplish what he's looking to accomplish, and that's become undisputed at light heavyweight. And he has a clear path to do so because he's the WBO champion. So he can push to be the mandatory for Joe Smith Jr., who's the WBO light heavyweight champion. And then he also has the deal on the table to fight Dimitri Bivol, so he could unify the belts and then go into a fight with Artur Beterbiev, who holds the WBC and the IBF belt, and that's an undisputed match. And he could do so in under a calendar year. So the road for him to become undisputed in two separate weight classes is laid out for him right in front of him as long as he chooses to have it. I'm just sure, and now he could take that road right now, but I'm sure Canelo Alvarez is going to be hard-pressed not to take the deal with Jermall Charlo. So Demetrius Andrade is putting himself now in position. I think it's a little bit late. He should have been done it, but now he's putting himself in position, vacating the belt officially and moving up. Now we have David Benavidez, undefeated, two-time WBC super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, who's going to fight David Lemieux in his next fight to be the WBC interim champion. Okay, so David Benavidez, who was the WBC champion but lost his belt on the scale, is putting himself back in position, back in contention to be the WBC champion. So he'll also become the mandatory for the winner of the fight. He's 25 wins, no loss and no draws, 22 wins by way of knockout, 25 years of age, 6 foot tall with a 6'1" with a 75-inch arm reach. Okay, so with that said, he is in position to make himself the mandatory as well for the winner. So there's big fights for Andrade. He could possibly face David Benavidez, if all else fails. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But now Demetrius Andrade is officially going up to 168, saying that he's going to follow Jermall Charlo and Canelo Alvarez until they give him an opportunity. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.